What are the top mistakes you see people making when it comes to navigation?
Sites where they let the information architecture drive what's in the main nav are selling themselves short.
Hey, I'm here with Brian Massey, the conversion scientist. And he's been cooking up something really interesting recently. He's been experimenting with optimizing the main navigation of the website. So how does that work?
So the thing we're discovering is that the main navigation has more tasks than just getting the person to the right side, right part of the site. It turns out to be really important for communicating what the site's about, what we put into the bucket of value proposition and messaging. Right. So for instance, if you have an e-commerce site, the words that you pick and the order that you put them in for that top navigation really can have a significant effect on all visitors. So let me give you an example. We have a client that is in this, runs an e-commerce site, sells construction gear, work gloves, safety goggles, those sorts of things, boots, to people who are working construction, working in manufacturing, those sorts of things. They had what we would call a functional main navigation. So it was like product category rather than listing the products. And so we tested switching that and actually listing the products. And we tried a number of things. When we talked about gloves, safety wear, and specifically talked about the categories of products instead of a functional navigation, we found that there were no more people interacting with the navigation than before, the control, but we saw a 13% increase in site-wide conversion rate.
Just being more aware of what's in.
That's right, because our hypothesis is that we're doing a better job of communicating what the site is about. That is certainly one of the first elements that anybody is going to look at when they come to a page for the first time, and that happens to also be the first question they have. Am I in the right place to solve the problem, to get the products that I want in this case?
So let's say I have a site, I have something in the menu. How would I figure out how to improve the wording, and how do I figure out then the right order for the menu items?
So order is pretty straightforward. We'll often use heat map reports to see if people are more interested in an item that's more to the right. We read left to right, top to bottom in the West, and so we expect the leftmost items to have the most heat because they get the most attention. So if we see one that has a lot of attention on it or a lot of clicks on it further down, then we develop the hypothesis that that should be moved more to the left. Now, in terms of picking the right words, I think what we did at 𝗤𝗓 was the first idea of changing from a functional to a product-oriented or a category-oriented series of words for the navigation. I would also look at integrating offers into there. So for an e-commerce site, having a clearance item there. For a blog, for instance, you could have sign up or free updates as one of your menu nav items. If you have, one of our clients has a unique name your own price business model. So we're testing adding name your own price as one of the main navigation items rather than putting it as a banner in the top or a banner below the headline. So that test is yet to run, so we'll see how that goes. But swapping things out like that and picking the right things, because we also see a lot of inconclusive tests in that. So I would plan to run a series, if you've got the traffic, to find that right combination of words.
What are the top mistakes you see people making when it comes to navigation?
Sites where they absolutely let the information architecture drive what's in the main nav are selling themselves short. For all the reasons I just talked about. Well, so we have a client that does lead generation, and so they have products, solutions, apps, and that's the way that the people who developed the website organized the content. Right. So they start with this very logical, like if I'm going to click down and go through a tree, it's the right way to do it. Most people don't do that. Most people are looking for something very specific, and if they don't find it, then they'll either abandon. If you're lucky, they'll check search, site search. So be willing to let your navigation break free of the logical construction of the website, and you'll be able to do more of these tests where you're using navigation to communicate value.
If you want more interviews like this, subscribe to my channel.